Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to The Crown. I am your host, Kevin Briggins, alongside Ellis Hudson. What's good, man?
Hey, I'm back.
We're back. Man, we had to put you on the disabled list.
Oh man. Dude, so I was playing basketball and I'm running point, of course, like my boy Brian, running point. And I go left, I plant on my right, rupture my Achilles, tore it right off the bone.
You pulled a Kobe.
Oh,
but not the good kind of Kobe on the court.
Not the good Kobe. I'm talking about the old broke down Kobe who thought he still had it. Receding hairline Kobe.
So you know what that means, right?
What's that?
It's over, man. You done.
I know. Oh my God. Dude, the doctor said, let me tell you something, Ellis. You ain't 21. The older you get. And when he said that, the older you get, I knew I was done.
Done.
That's one thing a man doesn't want to hear. The older you get, if that's in your prognosis, you done, bro.
Yep. Hey, man, you were in year 22, still balling.
Still balling. Still balling. I was hooping. And we were up by 5.
Man. You was almost a GOAT.
Bro, I'm out there calling plays. I had the number 1 up, calling plays, pointing out defenses and stuff, man. Went left, and I heard it pop. You ever tore your Achilles or you had an injury like that?
Nah. Bro, but I will say this, man. That's a nice story. That is a nice story, but we all know you got crossed up.
Dude, I thought the guy kicked me. I thought the guy kicked me in my leg. And I looked at him and I said, why you kicking me?
You thought you were still young. You thought you still had your lateral movement, your lateral quickness. You tried to D up on somebody.
Oh, let me show y'all. Look at this. I'm done, bro. Wave to the camera. I'm done.
Yeah, you're done.
I'm done. It's a wrap.
All right, so that's on the court, but you're about to be done on this show because you're about to jump into these topics.
I've been winning all my debates in Yakkin, so this should be no different.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay, so the Lakers are 1.5 games out of first. I debated that in the beginning of the season. I said Lakers gonna pull through. They talking about expanding the college football playoff. I said that. LeBron is number 1 right now in the MVP race. I said that. What else, bro? What else you want from me, man?
Yeah, LeBron is not number 1 MVP race, but we'll get into that.
What else you want from me?
But we're gonna start off with this college football playoff. Hold up. Yeah, we're going to start off with this college football playoff. So, everybody's whining and crying.
That right there, Kevin, is a beautiful bracket. Look at that. Oh, my God. 16 teams.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
Beautiful bracket.
I'm just putting it up there just because. But, yeah, it's horrible.
Let's talk about it. That bracket is maybe that's a little too much. That's too many teams. I would cut that down to 8.
I would cut it down to 4.
So explain to me why you would only do 4.
I would only do 4.
First of all, let's talk about how we got to 4.
Okay, yeah, I'll run through the history. It's really quick. All right, so college football used to be very unorganized and everything's about bowl tie-in. So for instance, if you won the Big Ten and you won the Pac-10, you automatically played in the Rose Bowl no matter what your ranking was. So let's say Ohio State was number 1 and Alabama was number 2. Alabama automatically went to the Sugar Bowl. Ohio State automatically went to the Rose Bowl. And 1 and 2 never played each other. So they said, okay, let's create this BCS. Let's break these bowl tie-ins so we can make sure 1 and 2 play each other. And so that's what the BCS was.
Well, now, before you continue, how did they come up with the rankings in the BCS?
The BCS was a combination of the coaches poll, the Harris poll, which was a poll of like former coaches and stuff, and computers. There was like 6 computers. And so those 6 computers, along with the 2 polls, made up a formula. They came out with a ranking.
So
and whoever's 1 and 2 in the BCS ranking, they played each other for the BCS national title.
So you still had a big human element that factored in rankings in the BCS, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now there's even the president talked about, the BCS. He said, hey, let's not do it. Let's do a playoff. Remember that? He's on TV and he said this bowl system you guys got going on is garbage. We need to have a playoff. The president of the United States said that.
And I guess you just disagree with everything the president say?
Listen, the president had a vision. His vision, and he's a huge, and you know this, he's a huge college basketball fan, right? Michelle Obama's brother, right? Wasn't he a coach?
Yeah, he's the coach at Oregon State.
Yeah, and so he had a lot of,
he got fired, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But he still had a vested interest in college basketball. So I think that some of that college basketball playoff, March Madness, because he always picked his March Madness winner,
right? Yeah,
right?
And I get that. But
so I think that kind of, flowed over into college football. And he went on TV and he said, State of the Union address. College football needs to fix themselves. And he was right.
And I disagree with him on many things, and that was just one of them.
You know what, man? Okay, so yeah, I disagreed with the president on some things, but when it came to sports, he was dead on with that college football playoff.
Nah. All right, so you had the BCS that made sure the 1 and 2 played each other.
Yep.
Well, there were occasions where there was a third team, like Auburn in 2004 was undefeated, 3 undefeated teams. You had, say for instance, this year, Notre Dame would be left out and we were still under the BCS because Alabama and Clemson are clearly 1 and 2.
Right.
And so they was like, you know what, let's expand to 4. So if there's that other team that's kind of on the fence that's deserving, they don't get left out. Like an undefeated Auburn.
Now,
okay, we'll go to 4.
Now,
knowing that there are 5 conferences.
Right.
4 meaning that somebody gets left out, and 2 gets left out if Notre Dame makes it.
Right. So there's 2 downsides to that.
Yeah. They knew that from the beginning, and that's how they did it. Because the goal is always been to match up the top teams. It's not about representation across the nation or across all conferences. It's about how can we make sure the top teams play one another. That's it. Right. That's why I believe it needs to stay at 4, because the goal is for it to be exclusive. The goal is for it to be elite. The goal is for the top teams to square off against one another. That is it. The larger you make the playoff, the more you water down college football, the more you water down the regular season. And if you start talking about automatic bids, now you're talking about out of conference games mean nothing. So if Alabama and let's just say Ohio State play in the kickoff next year, open the season up, that game means nothing because now it's simply win your conference. So as long as it's not a conference game, that game has no bearing on whether you make the playoff or not. So the more you expand it, the more you try to make it like basketball, the worse it's going to be.
But you still have that record though. So,
but the only record that matters is in your division. Do you win your division to get in your conference championship game, and can you win that conference championship game? It don't matter how many losses you have. If you're in a bad division like Northwestern was this year, and you're sitting there at or like Pitt, who was 7-5 and played in the ACC championship game. You mean to tell me if they beat Clemson, they deserve to be in the playoff?
Yes.
No, because you just made the whole season. All those 5 players, you are rewarding mediocrity. That's what you're doing.
Then you beat them. Then beat them.
But they got up for 1 game, and you're just erasing the 5 losses because they happen to be in a bad division. Why tie yourself? Why tie yourself to those divisions and conferences to determine a player? Why put in arbitrary, predetermined metrics?
That is football, bro. Any given Saturday.
It's not college football.
Any given Saturday. Any given Saturday, dude, a team can win, right?
No. It's college football. It's about parity. It's about going undefeated. It's about only having one loss, if that.
You're right. In college football, unfortunately, there is no parity. You've got 10 teams. You have 10 teams who are pretty much guaranteed to only lose one game.
Yeah. So why we need to play the charade like we need this big playoff system?
So you know what? So cut off all the other. Let's trim the fat. Let's only have 10 teams in a conference, in one conference, and that's it.
If you want to do that, you can.
Dude, let me tell you something. Do you remember when the Steelers won the Super Bowl and they were 8-8 and they got in as a wild card?
Yeah.
That was a magical run.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was a magical run, man.
It was. But put like this, what you're trading, and this is what college basketball has done. Nobody cares about college basketball for months. When they start off in October, November, December, January, nobody cares about college basketball.
No, you can't use that because players are allowed to leave after the first year.
That's not even the point.
No. Let me tell you something, Kevin. People used to watch those regular season games. We used to watch Duke versus North Carolina in November when they had, Rasheed Wallace and when they had Christian Laettner, when they had, those were big. Antoine James, those were big games.
But those games aren't November. Those games are late in the season, and those are conference games.
We still watched them.
Later in the season.
No, man. I'm telling you, dude, there was a time, man, when people watched college basketball in the regular season. I did. I know.
College basketball has always been built on the tournament. And the fan interest has always been driven towards the tournament.
I'm telling you, bro, there used to be a time when you had true stars in college basketball.
Oh, right? I agree.
Grant Hills, God, the list goes on, bro. I mean, you had, Vince Carter. You had true stars in college basketball who were sophomores, junior. Tim Duncan was a senior. And then you want to see that player in the tournament. You want to see what they were going to do. Now, dude, you got 18-year-olds that play for about 10 games, 20 games, and then they're out. If I was Zion, I wouldn't even play anymore. My hype is there. Zion can stop playing right now, and he's a top 3 pick, regardless of what he does. He can stop playing right now.
That's true. But it still doesn't change the fact that for most people, you can always have diehard basketball fans, right? That's going to watch regardless. Yeah. But the general public does not tune in or even start paying attention to college basketball until February, March.
Kevin, I beg to differ. So you're telling me that the ratings are the same now as they were 25, 30 years ago?
We would have to do
who's out there watching? Look that up. There's no way, bro. Ratings are down because there's no stars. You can't compare college basketball to college football. They're two different animals, two different rules. You have, dude.
Yeah, but when you think about college football and you think about the fandom and you think about what really drives college football, what drives college football is the fact that every week there's a lot riding on each week because one game, one loss here, there can knock you out.
Dude, you know what? This is the first year, probably because I'm in this group. This is the first year where I watched 75 to 80% of these Bama games because of y'all. Because of y'all, I watched these games. I wanted to see Tua, and while watching Tua, I got to see, other players on the team that I think are going to be, high draft picks. But I watched those games. I even watched them when they played Citadel, bro. Citadel.
Yeah, but you know what you didn't watch? You didn't watch no Pac-12 games.
You know what? First of all, we're in Georgia. If we were all in Oregon or we were all in Washington, I bet I would.
These are national networks. You can see, you don't have to be there.
You telling me
that's my point too, though. the minute you make it to where conference championship, the only thing that matters, you really made it to where it is strictly a regional sport. I have no reason to watch Oregon and Washington because it has no bearing on what happens with the SEC.
Well, see, and that therein lies the problem, because you have these athletic directors that are making the schedules, right? So, if you're going to, you can't, and you said it while we were off the air, right? It's not a league. There's no governing body, right? You just have to present yourself and present your school. And if the eyeball test says you're good, then you're in, right? There's no governing body. There's nothing saying that you have to play this team, correct? Okay, so like you said, the athletic director oversees his school, right? The conference president oversees that conference. There's no league. There's no governing body, right? So the AD dictates the schedule, right? He's not making the schedule by himself. He's calling out to, different schools, and they all get, they all talk, they all get together and they make these schedules, correct?
So I mean, not really.
Come on, man. These guys are sitting into some, in a nice plush hotel, banquet hall in Bermuda. And
the athletic director at Alabama isn't calling the athletic director at Notre Dame.
Come on, bro.
About scheduling, unless it's to schedule one another.
They're not going. First of all, Alabama's not going to put Notre Dame on a schedule. That would be
they're on the schedule coming up.
When they playing?
I forgot what year it is. It's like 2021, 22, somewhere in there.
All right.
Hold up. Dude, don't get me started. That's a whole different topic. Alabama don't run from schedule, bro. We've scheduled better than
No. What I'm saying is, in order for this to work, this schedule to work, the top 8 teams, you have to take the scheduling out of the school's power. You have to, bro. You can't. They can't. You can't keep scheduling these cupcakes. And now you're 12-0. You know what I'm saying? Because you have 4 tough games and 8 cupcake walks. You can't do that.
But this is the problem. You have 130 teams in the FBS division of football.
They're rotating.
So it's always going to be teams that play different levels of schedules.
Rotating. You got 6. You have 5 Power 5s, right? 5 power conferences, right?
Power conferences, yeah.
Rotated. This year we're gonna play the Pac-12 or whatever. But it has to be geographically, to make sense. I get it.
Yeah, but what does that still have to do with 8 teams? Why would 8?
What does it have to do with 8? So in order for it to make sense, you have to take that scheduling out of their hands, right? And that way you have a true schedule of teams. Like why is Bama playing Citadel if Citadel has no chance of playing in the CFP? They got no chance. Why is UGA playing Redan High School if Redan High School is never going to play in the CFP?
I got you, but what does that have to do with us having 4 teams or 8 teams?
Why do we go to 4 teams? You know why? We went to 4 teams because the committee folded. They said, you know what? We can't keep doing this corrupt crap that we've been doing. We got to do a playoff, right? Because the world
answer why they went to a playoff.
Because the president called us out. We can't. We got to take
the real answer. Why they went to a playoff?
You have to take the human element out of it as much as you can, and the human element was in it for about 100 years.
You have 130 teams. There has to be a human element.
It's 130 teams, but now all 130 are can play in that CFP. Dude, UCF is undefeated for the last 2 years, and they ain't going to sniff the college playoff.
Because they ain't played nobody.
Then why count them?
Oh, you ain't going to get no argument from me. The group of 5 needs to go be their own thing.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. It's either got to be one or the other. It's just like college. You want to bring up college basketball. Was it 120 teams that are eligible for the March Madness tournament?
No, it seemed like it's 68.
68, right? 68 teams. No. What I'm saying is, how many teams do they have to pick from?
Oh, it's over 300 D1 basketball teams.
Over 300, right? But they are eligible to be in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
And it's 68 slots, right? Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 68 slots. But all those teams are eligible. In college football, you have teams that aren't eligible, no matter if they win every game. They aren't. So
it just depends. It just depends.
Then trim the fat.
Hey, you don't get no argument from me. But know who you're gonna get an argument from? The group of 5 teams, the UCFs. They don't want to leave FBS. They don't want to leave. That's why they call themselves the group of 6. There's not 6 Power 5 teams. They call it the Power 6. I'm sorry.
Right. So if you expand it to 6, that means you have a wild card spot, right?
You don't need to expand it. This is not about inclusion. This is not about inclusion. This is not about conference representation.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something, audience. Let me tell y'all something. Hold on, move over to the right. No, to your left. No, move over to your right a little bit, Kevin. Y'all see that little cup right there with the Bama, and you see the hat? That's the reason why he don't want to expand it.
No, and I love it when that comes my way, because you know what? As an Alabama fan and as an SEC fan, the more you expand the playoff, the more you benefit us, because the more teams going to get in from the SEC, and the more teams. Look, how many years you think Bama is going to be out of the top 8?
Not if you do automatic bids.
If you do automatic bids, that's 5. You're talking about 3 wild card spots.
Automatic bids. Then, if you don't want to do automatic bids, then take the human element out of voting for the rankings.
You have to have a human element in, because there are too many teams.
We have to come up with a way, right? We have to come up with a way where teams are truly ranked and not voted in.
Like I said, it's not a league. It's not a league. It's no commissioner. Put like this: we're about to have National Signing Day next week.
Yeah.
Do you know who the number 1 team is in the rankings right now?
Of course. Go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah, it's Alabama.
Hey, the best team money could buy.
But however you want to say it. But the point is,
guess who else is there at National Signing Day?
Like this.
Boosters.
You can't make the 5-star players all of a sudden go to Vanderbilt, and then Vanderbilt gets better. And you can't make this parity happen, right? And so
it's not about parity. It has nothing to do with it.
It does, because you can't have this kind of blind notion of, if you win this, you get in. If you win this, you get in, because you're treating everything as if it's equal. You're treating it as if there is parity, but there isn't parity. And so therefore, the top 2 or 3 teams could actually be in the same conference.
That's
what I'm saying. Like winning the Pac-12 should not automatically get you in.
Dude, you such a band. What you gonna do when Saban retire, bro? What you gonna do? Huh?
Do what we always been doing. Been Alabama.
Go back to 9-4.
Hey, the way you talking, we're gonna still get in the playoff.
I know, because they love y'all. It don't matter if y'all not.
That's my point. Like, the more the playoff expands, the more it's gonna benefit the best teams, because you just play this widen the margin of error. Now I can lose a game and not worry about it. I could probably lose 2 and still be in.
So this is what I came up with, right? If they go to an 8, I said that they need to have the automatic bids, right? Listen, hear me out, bro. Hear me out, man. You're acting crazy. You got the automatic bids, and then you have so that's 5 slots, right? And then the best team out of the non-Power 5 gets 1 slot. And then you have 2 slots left, and those would be for the wild cards. Now, for those wild cards, they're determined by however you want to do it, whether it's a vote or strength schedule or whatever. I think that will work out better. So,
all right, this is what I think about that.
Wait. So hold on.
Okay.
So, in my bracket, I got just like just like college basketball, just like college baseball, just like, every other playoff system in the world. I got Bama playing one of those wild card teams, which would be, I got Boise State on there. And then on the other side, I have Clemson. A non-power 5 would be Notre Dame. So Boise State is not, as good as Notre Dame. So I got Bama, which is the top ranked team, playing that the last wild card.
How did you determine Boise State is not as good as Notre Dame?
The strength of schedule.
Strength of schedule? That's it?
Schedule.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm just throwing it out there. But you got to have some sort of way to rank these teams. Because if you're not going to have a true division, conference, if you're not going to have a league, you got to have some way of ranking these teams. So
like a human element.
No. We got computers. This is 2018, about to be 2019.
We did have the BCS. We already had that.
We still use computers today to, help rank these teams. That committee is not going in there blind. That committee is going in there.
They're using stuff like strength of schedule and strength of record.
That's what I'm saying. Be transparent. Be totally transparent on why Bama is ahead of Boise State. Nobody's come out and said, hey, this is the reason why, we rank these teams the way we rank them. There are, things that we know they use, but there's no, after everything is all said and done, hey, this is the formula that we used, right?
They do. They break it down and tell you why these teams are ranked this way and why and what were the discussions about these two teams or why this team did this or that.
It's little bits and pieces, little excerpts, but I'm talking about a true transparent deciding factor on what they use to rank. So anyway, I had Bama at number 1. I had Boise State at the bottom, right? So they play each other in that first week. Now, we're also adding weeks, right? We're really not. If you shorten the schedule, the regular season, come on, man.
Hey, I'm just letting you have your moment.
Why you give me that smirk? So
I'm just letting you have your moment.
Shorten the regular season, right? And let's widen up on the back end a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks. I say 1 week, on the back end, right? And then at the top of the playoff bracket, I got Oklahoma versus UCF. And then on the other side, I have Ohio State versus the Pac-12 champion, which was Washington. It was the Huskies. So that's my playoff bracket, man. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Here's the thing. They went to 4 because they folded, right? The NCAA folded and said, you know what? You're right. You got us. You guys got us red-handed. We've been using this crappy voting system for the last 100 years. You guys got us. President called us out on TV. Boom. So here's the TFP. Went to 4. I guarantee you before this 6 years is up, before they go back into negotiations, is it 6 or 8? How many years they got left?
6, I think.
6 years. I don't think they're gonna make it to 6 years.
All right, this is what it's about.
Go ahead, tell me.
And the reason we're at a playoff at 4 teams is the same reason we're gonna expand.
Break it down, Bama fan.
Oh yeah. After 2011, when 2 SEC teams play in the BCS championship game in a rematch from the regular season, which was LSU and Alabama, all of a sudden, all the other conference commissioners started talking about how we needed to expand. It's all about, can they get in? And so we've gone to 4. And what has happened? The SEC has been in every year. The SEC had 2 teams in last year. The SEC had 2 teams play for the title and then almost had 2 teams in this year. And then you got Notre Dame in. And so the other conference is going like, man, we keep getting left out.
Now, hold on, stop there. So, and I remember this, when they were talking about going to the college football playoff, they settled on 4. People were talking about doing 6 and 8. They went to 4. They didn't have to go to 4.
Yeah, I just was saying they went to 4, thinking that if we go to 4, then that'll make sure that we have some we'll be happy. We know one of us every year get left out, but we'll be okay with that because they wanted to keep it they wanted to keep it exclusive, right, to a certain degree. Well, what they weren't counting on was the 2 SEC teams getting in. And then they weren't counting on the Big Ten has been left out, 3 years in a row now?
Mm-hmm.
And so once that starts happening, the Pac-12 had no shot. Their champion has 3 losses. Yeah. And so these conferences start, instead of saying, hey, how can we get better? Their solution is, let's just lower the standard and make it bigger so all of us can just get in. It's like, no, stop sucking. Stop losing 3 games. Be better. Raise your bar. Instead of saying, hey, let's bring the bar down. That's my whole argument. And everybody who wants to expand the playoff, I have a little crown for you. Because you are little princesses. And you like mediocrity. And you like to bring down the standard. And you just want to lower it down. And so everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets in. And we could be so inclusive. And we could just sing Kumbaya together. That's what it is.
What you going to do when Saban retire, bro? And Bama 9-4.
Hey, still say Roll Tide.
Yeah, right.
And and call for that coach to get fired.
Y'all gonna be begging to get in the CFP. Watch.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be saying make it bigger so we can get in. I'm gonna be saying we need to get better so we can get in.
What you gonna do when Urban Meyer goes to Tennessee or when he goes to Auburn?
Man, he gonna have another health issue. You ain't worried about that.
What you gonna do?
He gonna have another health issue.
What you gonna do when Fields is starting quarterback next year, bro?
The same thing we do every year: beat Georgia.
You're right. Do y'all see Fields out there? Well, boy, let me tell you, Fields look good, man.
You talking about Fields, man? It's gonna be Drake. Still gonna be Jake Fromm out there.
Nah, no way.
Yep,
no way.
Yeah,
Kirby Smart did him a solid, man. He did him a solid. He said, hey, stay in there, take these wounds. He actually looked good in the SEC championship.
Yeah,
he looked good.
Yeah. Hey, Fields looked good too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, on that fake punt, he looked real good.
Yeah, that was crazy. Tua looked good in the 4th quarter.
He did. He looked good celebrating with the team.
Yeah. Well, can we talk about that next?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah. All right. So we had the Heisman vote. You already know where I'm coming from. What's your opinion, man? Did the voters get it right? So
they did get it right. And I think the only reason why Tua lost is because of Saban. Saban did that boy wrong. You
explain.
Because he was so cocky that he rolled this kid out for 3 quarters and said, you know what? We're not going to play him in the 4th quarter. We're going to forego his stats. We're going to they were up. They're up by a lot. And they trying to conserve the kid. I get it, man. You don't want to lose a quarterback like him on a bad hit in a 4th quarter. I get it. When you're up 55-10 on Citadel, I get it. I completely get it. But with that means you don't win the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? You can't. There's no way. This Kyler Murray kid, man, came out of nowhere. Bro. Came out of nowhere, and great coach. And that their defense sucked. I watched a couple of games, and Oklahoma's defense was worse than the Falcons' defense. They sucked. So they needed Kyler Murray to sling that ball. And that boy is good, man.
Oh, he is. He is.
He looks like a little Drew Brees out there sometimes.
All right, this is what I'll say. If you want, what the voters pretty much asked Nick Saban to do was, hey, man, just score 70 or 80 on everybody. Don't take your foot off the gas. Don't take Tua out next year. Just, I know you scored 45 in the first half. Just go ahead and keep the gas down and embarrass people.
Keep going.
That's what you're asking for.
Keep going.
Because instead of punishing Tua for only having certain numbers, common sense would have told you, if you watched games, it's like, well, he's only playing half the game. So to base it on numbers, and what you said about Oklahoma's defense, that's a knock against Murray. Because first of all, it's not an MVP award. And so people looked at his stats. Yes, if your defense sucks and you have to keep the gas down all game, you're going to have a lot of stats and yards. It's basically basketball on grass. And so, yes, he from an individual standpoint, he benefited from having a bad defense because it allowed him to go out there late in the game, still chucking it deep and still running it up. While Tua was like, man, I got a defense. We're up big. I don't have to play in the fourth quarter or the third quarter in a lot of times.
So, hey, you know what? So y'all win the championship. You know, I don't even know why they're playing the CFP, to be honest. Give them the trophy. You know, it's a vote anyway. Give it to them. So, you know, Tua wins another championship, but he just ain't gonna win the Heisman because he ain't playing.
It's to the most outstanding player.
So
outstanding player.
So, you know, let me add, and now, you know what, and that was a hit sometimes on Allen Iverson, right? Allen Iverson was so good, you know, but he was hurt a lot. And that hurt him because he didn't qualify for certain stats because he didn't play a full season, right? If he had played a full season, I know for sure Allen Iverson would have had 2 or 3 MVPs.
Okay, where you going?
Now, well, what I'm saying is, if he would have played, you know, more games and qualified for more, I think it was it's like you got to play a minimum of like 65 or something like that in order to qualify for, like, you know, the point per game leader that year or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, if Allen Iverson would have played more, I think he would have won more MVPs, but he didn't.
But this is the thing. But this is the thing. You had Tua lead an Alabama offense that was just unprecedented. You had a team that won every game by at least 20 points for the first time since Yale did it in 1888.
Yeah.
Not 1988. 1888 was the first time a team had won every game on their schedule by at least 20 points.
Okay.
Right? And so you took an Alabama program that was already great and dominant, and he took it to another level and made them that much more dominant. To the point to where they were blowing people out in the first half.
Probably had the same schedule as Yale back in 1888.
Probably did. But still faced tougher defenses than Kyler Murray. and that's another thing.
I think you
Oklahoma's defense is bad, but guess what? Guess what? The teams they were playing had bad defenses.
You know what? I think you hit it on the head, man. I think that Oklahoma's defense, you know, helped him win that Heisman because he had to stay in the game.
It did. If you're only going to look at numbers, absolutely.
They got it right on the money.
I know. I think that it was what you call it. Basically, they went out the last thing they saw. Tua had a bad game. He got hurt.
Yep.
And the last thing they saw is what they voted. And they ignored an entire season of one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen.
You're absolutely right.
He did it in half of games. He didn't even have to play whole games. He threw 8 passes in the fourth quarter the entire season.
You're absolutely right. You know, they went off that last game. Tua didn't look, you know, like Tua. I mean, you know, because he was hurt and the ankle. I get it, you know. And Georgia's defense was pretty decent.
That's what I'm saying. He played at LSU. He had to play against Mississippi State's defense. He had to play against Georgia. Kyler Murray's playing West Virginia.
I get it.
He's playing Kansas.
West Virginia still had a good team this year.
Not a defense, though.
They still had a good team.
They got a good offense.
Yeah.
They don't have a defense.
They had to outscore them.
Yeah, and that's what he does. Because that's what they do in that league. It's like every year you can give the Heisman to any Texas Tech quarterback because they're going to throw for a gajillion yards, right? It's the same thing with Oklahoma playing the Big 12 against those defenses. Now, if they were playing quality defenses and he was still lighting them up, hey, man, dude. But he's playing trash defenses, and Tua's having to play defenses with first-round picks all on him.
So first round in the CFP is Alabama versus Oklahoma. Who you got?
Dude. Hey, I mean, Alabama's a 2-touchdown favorite for it.
Yeah, I know. So
I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. My predicted score is like 56-42 or something like that.
So who's going to have the better game, I should say? Let me rephrase that. Who's going to have the better game, Tua or Murray?
Tua will, because Oklahoma's defense is horrible. I mean, put it like this. Oklahoma was giving up 40-plus points to teams like Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. They gave up 56 to West Virginia. And this is in, like, regulation.
They had to outscore them, and they had the right quarterback to do it.
I know, but when people talked about Murray for the Heisman, they simply talked about his numbers. And the thing is, like, yes, he's going to have numbers because he's chucking it late in the games because his defense is bad, right?
Numbers help out a lot. You know what? I think it was more about Saban's cockiness. Honestly, I think it's more about Saban's cockiness and playing his boy only a couple of quarters a game, you know, as opposed to Murray looking better. I really do, man.
I credit it to just haters.
Of course you do.
No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong term. The correct term is Alabama fatigue.
Alabama fatigue.
Yeah, that's it.
This has been the right. Am I right? First year that an Alabama quarterback would have won the Heisman.
Yeah, we've never had a quarterback win.
Yeah, never had a quarterback win the Heisman. Right. This has been Saban's. You know, now next year, I think Saban will play him a little bit longer in the game.
He still won't. Number one, Saban's not going to run the score up, and number two, he's not going to risk getting them hurt. If you were up by 4 touchdowns, why are you going to leave your starting quarterback in there?
You know, I mean, it's all good because Trevor Lawrence is going to win the Heisman anyway next year. So, you know,
who?
Trevor Lawrence.
Handing it off.
Bring that Heisman to Atlanta.
Handing it off right, handing it off left. That's all they do.
Bring that Heisman to Atlanta. Hey, you're a freshman. What do you want me to do? Come on. Still a good kid.
Tua was a freshman. He won a national title. Just saying.
Boy can barely vote. He can't even grow no facial hair.
Hey, but he got the locks though.
Yeah, he got the locks flowing.
All right. So now that you lost that one too. So
no, I ain't lose that, bro. You know what?
This one I think we're gonna agree on though.
You know what? I seriously do think that he lost because of Saban. He didn't lose because he's not good. He lost because of
absolutely. He lost because people just looked at statistics. But I don't think Saban was being arrogant. I know that's your take. I think Saban was being
I don't think he was being arrogant either. I thought he was doing right by the kid.
Yeah, and by the opponent.
I believe this committee of voters said, you know what? You're going to trot this kid out for 1 or 2 quarters a game? No problem. He ain't getting a Heisman. No problem.
Yeah. All right. So this next one. I think we're going to agree on this one. So we got this trend now. Ever since McCaffrey did it a couple years ago, there seemed to be a growing trend of players skipping their bowl game. How do you feel about that? And what do you think it goes from here?
Well, you know, nobody really cares about these bowl games. You know, they don't factor into the playoff system. They don't, nobody's watching them. They got crazy names like the Keyboard Bowl, you know, the Camel Red Bowl. Nobody's watching these bowl games, man. Nobody goes to the games except for, you know, the parents and the friends, and, you know, they'll travel to a game or whatnot, but that's it. Nobody's paying money to these bowl games. They don't mean anything. So why play in a game where you can, you know, possibly get hurt and jeopardize your standing in the draft?
Yep. Now, and that's why I said we're in agreement on this. I agree wholeheartedly that these guys, I mean, these bowl games are exhibition games.
Yeah.
These bowl practices are very good for the young players, and the players are going to come back next year. I don't blame a guy who possibly has millions of dollars on the table for missing a bowl game that's And I say that I feel that way for if a guy's gonna skip the Camping World Bowl, right?
Yeah.
If you skipping the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, I feel differently about it then. You
right.
know, if somebody's gonna miss a playoff game, I would feel differently about it.
Of course.
But you're talking about the Root Beer Bowl. Yeah, dude, go and get ready for the draft.
Yeah, I think if you're a projected, I say 4th round and above, if you're projected at 4th round and above and you got, a combine coming up in March or April, skip that bowl. Now, if you're a walk-on or a 7th, 6th round pick, I think that bowl might help you.
Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely help some guys.
Yeah.
But some guys, I don't think it's almost like this. Look, if you got X amount of years of tape on me, this last game shouldn't matter.
What is it? 1%? 1% of players from the college football, go to NFL. Yeah. Well, that's a small percentage.
Yep.
That's all. I mean, it's like winning the lottery. It's small, but 1% is small. Even
and then we've seen injuries.
Yeah.
Right. And so these guys are thinking, I've dodged a bullet. I've made it through unhurt. This is the last game coming up. It don't mean anything. I got to do what's best for me and my family. I'm going to skip the bowl game healthy and remain healthy and prepare for the draft.
Yeah.
I don't blame these guys.
I don't blame them either. I skip it too.
Yeah. And also one thing too is with the new redshirt rule that the NCAA allowed, to where a freshman can play up to 4 games and keep their red shirt.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing a lot of freshmen that hadn't played all year all of a sudden be on the field for these bowl games. And bowl games will start going to be more of a preview for next season.
Now, I think that would be a good turn right there if they start doing that more.
I think you're going to start. This is the first year that rule has been into effect.
Yeah.
And so I think you're going to start seeing it where, okay, these kids get 15 bowl practices. And then you're going to start seeing more of a preview towards the next season to where, like, man, well, this team could look like something because, man, that kid is good.
Right. But I think what teams aren't going to do is get rid of these bowl games. That's money.
No. They're definitely not.
Yeah.
And I remind people, it is called FBS, Football Bowl Subdivision.
Yep. They ain't getting rid of that money.
No. And no matter how big you made a playoff, it's still good to have the bowls, because the bowls are just. Look, I will never be upset about more football.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bowls are traditional, and I think that's one thing about college football that I like. That tradition, the rivalries and stuff like that. They've kept that intact, and I think that bowls are one of those traditional things that really shouldn't go away.
Yeah. And it rewards the kids. They get to go on a trip.
Yeah.
They get the swag bags.
Because not all kids are going to the NFL. It is 1% going to the NFL.
Yep.
So
a lot of them, bowl games are part of the college experience.
Yeah.
So absolutely, man. Keep that. All right. So let's kind of switch focus a little bit from college football, and let's jump to some NBA stuff. All right. Yeah. So came out today, rumors are the Clippers are looking to add Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard this offseason.
Dude, right. Durant has shown his true colors this year. He is king hater. He is the president of the Player Haters Club.
Is he hating or is he posturing? Because think about this. If he's planning to go to LA and go to the Clippers, is he talking to Kawhi and saying, you don't want to go play with LeBron because you're not going to get any credit?
He's playing chess.
Yeah, he's playing chess.
He's playing chess. And here's the thing, like, that's the new NBA. Things are, played out in social media now, and, we're putting words in athletes' mouths if they don't say something. But Kevin Durant is giving it to us raw. He's giving us these sound bites. And Kevin Durant, I think, is probably one of the most sensitive players in the NBA. Yeah, he's so sensitive, man. I mean, he's going tit for tat with people on Twitter and Instagram, and he's yelling at fans on the court. He dude is sensitive.
He is.
Super sensitive. And he's playing chess though. I think he's like, you know what? I got the ear of the people. I got the ear of players that, don't like speaking up, So I'm gonna say stuff that I know they're gonna read. Anthony Davis read that about what KD said. So did Kawhi Leonard, they did. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the question I'm gonna ask you: is Kevin Durant right in what he's saying?
He is. He is about what he said about LeBron.
Yeah,
of course he is. But he's right because LeBron is the greatest player playing right now in NBA. He's the best player. He's the greatest player. He's the most iconic. He has the biggest press conference. Everything that LeBron does, there's a spotlight on him, right? So he's not the only one. It was the same for Kobe. It was the same for Jordan. It was the same for Magic. There weren't players that were demanding trades to go play with Kobe. Dude, Kobe was probably the most demanding player. I think he was more demanding than Jordan. They were talking about Kobe was cussing out Dwight Howard in practice.
Because Dwight soft.
7 foot.
No. Kobe did not have a reputation for guys wanting to play with him. But it was just for different reasons. Like, you didn't want to play with Kobe because Kobe could be a jerk.
He could.
Right? LeBron's a great guy.
But the environment is still toxic because, you playing with Kobe now, right? Now you're in the spotlight. Now Meta World Peace done changed his name. He's on talk shows. He's on everything because he played with the Lakers. He played with Kobe, Lamar Odom. Dude, Lamar Odom, average player. Lakers, Kobe. Oh, Lamar Odom, he might be Hall of Fame.
This is what I will say. It is somewhat different. And it has a lot to do with LeBron fans, right? Because we've talked about this in the group before.
Yeah.
LeBron is the first athlete, because of the way he's changed teams, to where he's developed his own fans separate from the team, right? I grew up a Jordan fan, but I was a Bulls fan. That's true. I never had to be a fan of another team, so I'm still a Bulls fan. People who were Kobe's fans were Lakers fans. They're still Lakers fans.
Yeah, but you're talking about
LeBron fans are fans of no team.
Right. So
they are just fans of LeBron. And so if LeBron isn't winning, it's your fault.
I was a Barkley fan, right? I was a huge Barkley fan.
Yeah.
And when he went to Phoenix, I was still a Barkley fan. I watched Phoenix games. And then when he went to Houston, I was watching Houston games. So, I mean, LeBron ain't the first player to do that.
No, he's not the first player, but he is the first, especially in the media age, the first major star to jump teams.
Right.
Right.
He as great as he
think about LeBron over his career. Once he's done, what jersey do you really see him in?
Correct. I mean, you're right. LeBron is the first greatest player to do that.
Yeah.
Other
guys like, say, Kareem went to the Lakers, but it was late in his career.
Right. But LeBron, being as great as he is really the first player to determine his outcome, his own free agency, his own, where am I going to play and who am I going to bring in to play with? And yeah, you're right. He's the first one to do that.
Yeah. And so he's created this following that is so apologetic towards him.
Rabid.
All about LeBron.
So
he is the greatest. He did it by himself.
He did.
I can't believe it.
He did.
And if they lose, it's all about everybody else's fault. It's Chris Bosh's fault. It's Wade's fault. It's Mike Miller's fault. All of a sudden, now everybody wanted Kevin Love when LeBron first went to Cleveland. It was like, man, Kevin Love's a beast. We got to get Kevin Love. Oh man, we got Kevin Love. We're gonna win the title. They lose. Man, Kevin Love sucked.
Yep. You know what? Let me tell you what happened, man. And this might be LeBron's fault also, but LeBron plays every game. in the season. You know, he plays at least 75 games every year, right? So, you know, when he went to Miami, Dwayne Wade gets hurt, got bad knees. You know, Chris Bosh gets hurt. He got, you know, messed up back, shoulder bad. You know, LeBron's still playing. He's still, now it's LeBron and all the bench players, right? So that happened in Miami, right? The last 2 years in Miami, they went bad. D Wade was just a shell of himself. Knees were bad. So was Chris Bosh. You know, he wasn't, Chris Bosh, the last 2 years in Miami wasn't the Chris Bosh that we saw the first 2 years and in Toronto. So LeBron goes to Cleveland, right? The first year, Kyrie is balling. Kevin Love is balling until they get hurt, until they get the injuries. The injury bug bites them. Now LeBron, now LeBron has to carry the team, you know, of all the sorry one-year bench players that they bought in the offseason to help them win a championship. Now it's LeBron and the LeBronettes. Why? Because his number 2 and his number 3 stay hurt. Right? Whoa. Hold up, bro. LeBron would have had more than one championship if Kyrie didn't get hurt. He got hurt. Baby bone Kyrie got hurt. He stays hurt.
He only got hurt 1 year. What was the problem all the other years?
He got hurt.
Hold up. Was Wade hurt in 2011? Was Bosh hurt in 2011?
No, we breaking it down in the years that he was there, right? 4 years in Miami.
Yeah. So year 1, when everybody was healthy and they went to the finals and they played Dallas and everybody's healthy.
Yeah, they should have won. You know, they were.
But why didn't
they? They didn't. You know, they lost to a better team. They lost to a better team that gelled together, that played together.
Nope. Reggie Miller.
I get it. LeBron didn't play his best in that finals. I get it. You know, he still led the team in scoring for the playoffs, but he didn't.
But in the finals, he did.
Not in the finals, but he did for the whole playoffs. Yeah, he did.
I'm not saying that. Go back and see who they played to get to the finals.
Oh, God.
That's all I'm going to say. But this is my thing. You can't always, that's the thing, it can't always be everybody else's fault.
It's not. And it wasn't LeBron's fault. I'm sorry, right? It was LeBron's fault in 2011, right? It was. You know, he didn't show up. The following year they won, right? The next year they won, you know. But the team started to break down, you know, that second year. At the end of the second year.
You say this team broke down the second year, but they won the championship.
I'm sorry, they started breaking down the third year. You know,
they won a championship the third year.
I get it. LeBron had to put that team on his back. Dude, you can't listen. You can't have your number 2 and your number 3 guy play 50 games. You can't.
But a lot, yeah. But once it came, a lot of that was strategy, though. Yes, Wade was hurt,
right?
But a lot of that was them managing Wade. It was him resting.
Hey, rest up. So
but it was all for the playoff run. So Wade was very good to go for the playoff run.
Right. So when you go from scoring, you know, 25 a game, now you're down to 16, 17, you know, in the playoffs. That's not the same Wade. There was a couple of games where he didn't play in the playoffs. You know, that wasn't the same Wade scoring 15, 16 a game.
I agree.
And that's your number 2 guy.
I agree. But it was no excuse to get ran out the gym like they got ran out.
My goodness. And then he gets to Cleveland, you know, and he gets this kid that is probably one of the best dribblers I've ever seen in my life. Hurt, man. The dude stay hurt. Kyrie Baby Bone Irving stay hurt.
He was hurt 1 year.
Kevin Love hurt.
He
ran off.
Kevin Love and Kyrie was only hurt in 2015.
Gone for the whole dude. He gone for the whole playoffs, bro. Playoffs. He was done.
No. Oh yeah. Hold up. Yeah, Kevin Love got hurt in the first series. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because dude pulled his arm. Hurt his arm. Yeah, dude from Boston. Kelly Olynyk.
Bron had to put the team on his back again.
Yeah, and then Kyrie got hurt game 1 of the finals.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that was the only year they got hurt. They were healthy all the other years.
No. And then you know what? Here's the crazy thing, bro. My man goes to LA, right? Bron goes to LA. He's 1.5 games back from being
everybody's 1.5 games.
Whoa. Hold on. You talking crazy. He's 1.5 games back from being in this impossible Western Conference. And guess who's hurt? Ingram, his number 2 guy. Ingram is hurt, bro. His ankle. He's out for like a week or 2. He's hurt.
That's the NBA.
My man, dude, Ingram is like barely 21. He's hurt. You gotta carry the team again.
This is the thing about the West.
You gotta carry the Lakers again.
This is the thing about the West. From the 1 seed to the 14th seed in the West, it's only separated by 6 games.
I get it.
So saying he's a game and a half out of first means nothing. Everybody's almost a game and a half out of first.
The Lakers are 16-5 since they lost them 3 first games. 16-5 in the West with a bunch of youngins and some 1-year bums. Dude, you can't tell me LeBron ain't the greatest, bro. Come on.
Okay. What teams are at the top of the Western Conference right now?
Let me ask you this, Kevin.
What teams at the top of the Western Conference?
I ain't gonna answer that. Let me ask you this. So, what player in the NBA can you put on that Lakers team and take LeBron off, and they still are 1.5 games back out of first place?
Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard.
You are smoking crack. You smoking crack.
Kawhi Leonard.
No way. No way.
Actually, he'd probably work out better.
That's because you a hater, bro. Dude.
No, I'm just saying, playing with LeBron is great. LeBron is the greatest player of this generation. But playing with LeBron can be very difficult.
It can be.
So I'm saying it's a bigger adjustment trying to fit LeBron into a team, and LeBron trying to figure out how to play without the ball, and LeBron trying to figure out how not to take over, and everybody trying to figure out how to like be assertive, but then defend LeBron, and it's just too much.
But let's stick to what KD said. It's hard for a star who's trying to create their brand to play with LeBron. Because right now, you got players who don't really – Kevin Love didn't have a brand. Kyrie really didn't have a brand. Kuzma ain't got no brand. But these are good players, right? So what KD said was it's hard for a star who's trying to create their brand to play with the world's biggest brand. That's what he was saying.
Yeah. But he was blaming the media.
Of course.
Because how you build your brand when if you win and successful, that brand gets all the credit. And then, but if you're losing, your brand takes the blame.
Dude, he was playing chess. And I say he's right because, these guys are trying to create their brand, right? Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, these guys are trying to create their brand.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to play in certain markets.
Right. So it would be difficult for them to go to LA and continue building that brand because now your brand is LeBron's brand. Now you're a part of the LeBron brand.
So what would it say if LeBron goes to LA and doesn't bring a ring to LA?
I'm sorry, what? What is this?
What would it mean about LeBron or LeBron's legacy for him to go to LA but not deliver a ring?
I don't think it would mean anything. I don't think it would mean anything. But I think what LeBron has done is brought excitement back to LA. I think he's brought excitement back to LA. There's a bunch of stars on the court side now. You're seeing Cardi B and all these folks, on the sideline that weren't there for 3 or 4 years.
Did you just say Cardi B?
Cardi B, man, she's hot right now. Cardi B's hot, man. So LeBron has brought excitement back, and if he did not win a championship, I don't think it hurts his legacy at all. At all. He's got 4 years.
That's the purple
4 years in LA.
Every other star who came over to the purple and gold brought a ring.
But you know what, though? I mean, nobody expected him to be where they are right now. Nobody expected LeBron and the Lakers to be where they are right now?
I did. Yeah, they did. They're the 5th seed, and most people predicted them 5 or 6 seeds. So we're in there.
Nobody expected him to be 1.5 games out of first place.
Oh, that's because nobody expected Golden State and Houston to struggle as much.
Hey, is that LeBron's fault?
I'm just saying. Because you need some context to that game and a half out.
That's called the LeBron effect.
Hold up. Explain it. Explain it. The LeBron effect on Houston.
That's not whoa. That's not LeBron. No, the LeBron effect is what you just said. Nobody expected Houston and nobody expected Golden State. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, that's not LeBron's fault. Y'all said Western Conference, you know,
but you're
way better. Y'all said Western Conference is way better than the East. And LeBron, only reason why he got the 9 finals is because he played in the East. Well, you know what? He's
not getting to the finals.
You know what? He about to go to the finals again this year in the West. Watch.
I guess if he buys some tickets and go, yeah.
Who's better than the Lakers outside of Golden State in the West?
Man, just go 1 through 14. It's a crapshoot.
Which one? Pick a team.
I just go down the list.
Which one?
OKC, Clippers, Utah, Houston.
Bro, I'm through.
The West is so.
You tell me OKC and Utah and the Clippers.
My point is the West is so bunched up, inconsistent. Everybody's playing like 500 ball. I mean, like I say, the Clippers are the 3 seed right now. That's my whole point. A week ago, Memphis was the 1 seed. It's not making sense right now. So where teams are, man, just throw it up in the air and let it fall. It don't matter right now.
It don't matter now, huh? It don't matter now. Hey, you know, it makes sense when
put like this. If Golden State was 30-2 and Houston was sitting there at 27-5, and the Lakers were a game and a half back, now you have a point.
Now it makes sense.
But when everybody's got double-digit losses,
not everybody. Everybody that's in playoff contention in the top 8 in the West all have winning records. They do. Look it up.
I know. Like the top 12 teams in the West have winning records.
They don't have double-digit losses. Not all of them.
No, I was exaggerating, but like the 12 teams in the West have winning records.
Yeah,
that's my point. They're all just bunched up. LeBron, I think they're in the 5th spot right now in the West, like a game and a half out. They can lose a game and drop the 9th. I mean,
no. What I'm saying is
that's how fluid it is right now in the Western Conference.
What I'm saying is, and you know who has the best record right now in the Western Conference, playing Western Conference teams?
What do you mean?
Who's
the 1 seed right now?
What Western team has the best record against Western Conference teams? I'll make it even easier for you. Who's got the best record in the Western Conference against 500 or better teams?
I know. I got one for you because you like Vegas.
Who's
the favorite to win the West?
Golden State.
Okay. All right. It ain't the Lakers.
No.
So whatever you spouting out right now, 25 games into the season, in an 82-game season, don't even matter. Let me know when we get to the next year. When we get over to 2019 and we start close to the All-Star break, let me know if they're a game and a half out then.
So to bring it back around, from the original topic, KD and Kawhi going to the Clippers, I don't think it really makes a difference. I don't. Kawhi's in Toronto. Toronto has the same record that they did last year. They do. They got the same record. They're playing. I get it. They're playing in the East. They got the same record. It's not like Toronto is, head and shoulders above where they were. They got the same record and the same stats that they did last year. Same defensive efficiency, same offensive rating, same record, same everything.
Yeah, but this is the thing. When it comes to the playoffs, where Toronto has struggled, do you think Kawhi Leonard folds the way DeMar DeRozan folded? That's the difference.
I don't. Toronto doesn't have enough firepower to beat Philly or Boston in the playoffs. In a 7-game series, they do not have Go ahead.
Boston has the best roster, and if Boston gets it together, Boston's the best team.
And they're getting it together. They got what, 5-game winning streak right now?
Yeah, I still got to see it. I still not sold. But I would take Toronto over Philly, even with Jimmy Butler.
They're gelling, you know. Jimmy Butler is a new player on that team. You know, it's a different kind of atmosphere with him.
Oh, and we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, Embiid,
Embiid,
you know, he already complained. That's a millennial thing with all these, you know, Durant and Embiid and they all complaining now. That's all millennial crap, you know. So that team is gelling, right? And I think once they get it right, they're gonna look good. Now they have a scorer. They have a go-to person. It was Embiid. Your center in today's NBA can't be your go-to guy. Can't be, because they're gonna set you out in the playoffs. They do the same thing to Anthony Davis. In the playoffs, they shut him down, you know, or they let him score 40 a game and everybody else gets nothing.
Yeah. No, you have to have to win in the NBA. You have to have a dominant wing player.
Yeah, you know, Jimmy Butler. I think he has got a lot to prove. You know, and I think that they're gonna shine though in the playoffs. All
right, cool. I do think that if Kawhi and KD end up in the Clippers, they're gonna outshine LA. It's gonna be a Clippers town, and they're gonna be better than the Lakers. And that's just a bad way for LeBron's legacy to end.
I think if the Clippers get Kawhi and KD, there needs to be another player there, another like a mid-level person who can step up.
Dude, the Clippers are nice. Yeah. They got the mid-level player. They just don't have any stars. They kind of like the Denver Nuggets. They got a lot of good players, no great players.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add 2 great players to what they already have, dude.
Yeah, but you're adding 2 great players. That means you got to lose some players.
I don't know what their salary cap situation is, because they're free agents. They might be able to bring them in without
$65 million, and they can afford 2 max players. That's the reason why those 2 names came up.
Yeah.
So,
and so all I gotta say is Jerry West.
Hey, he's the man.
He is. All right, so we got one last topic. 2, but this topic I didn't tell you about because I wanted to just get you
raw.
Yes. All right. So here we go. This is from the group today, man. We've been going at it.
What is the GOAT standard? LeBron.
So we talk about the GOAT. This player is the GOAT. This player is the GOAT. Right. So what is the GOAT standard? How is it determine who the GOAT is?
I believe that's changed. You know, and I believe that LeBron has forced that change. The NBA has changed, and we used to think that the top scorer was, you know, the greatest of all time. Whoever can put the ball in the hoop the most was, you know, considered the greatest of all time. First, you know, we looked at Wilt as the greatest of all time because, you know, he had all these crazy records and whatnot. And then once he was long gone, then we started looking at Kareem, saying that he was, you know, the greatest of all time because he had these crazy records. And then once he started fading out, Michael Jordan came in the mid 80s. And by 88, when he won all the awards, we had already said Michael Jordan was the GOAT in 88, bro. Like his 3rd or 4th year was saying this guy is the greatest basketball player we've ever seen. Dude was scoring 35, 37 a game, you know, dropping 60 points on the Boston Celtics, on the MVP Larry Bird, you know, winning the dunk contest, winning Defensive Player of the Year. You know, that right then, and this is before he even won a championship. So once he started, and we were already considering him the greatest of all time then. Once he started winning championships, you know, then we started to use that as the barometer for the greatest of all time, right? he won 6 straight championships. You know, he quit in between. He came back. He won 3 more. We get it, you know. So then we started saying, oh, you got to be championships. And then LeBron, I'm sorry, you know, and then we started looking at the baby Jordans, right? Michael Jordan was the prototypical. So then we started looking at baby Jordans, the Grant Hills, the Kobe Bryants, the, you know, the Jerry Stackhouses. Kobe comes along, and now we started looking at him, you know, but he was just a carbon copy of Michael Jordan. You know, he played with Shaq, so Shaq kind of, you know, held him back as far as being in that GOAT conversation. And then LeBron comes along. This dude is Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, all mixed into one. He's a hybrid of all these players. He's watched all these players growing up, and LeBron is able to do everything that all these players could do at an extreme high level. Am I correct on that? So
to a degree, somewhat.
So he comes along, right?
I would say he's not as great a scorer as Mike, and he's not as great a passer as Magic.
I get it.
He has abilities.
Right. He has those abilities. I get it. So and LeBron jumped into that conversation when he took a bunch of bums to the NBA Finals in 2007. In his 3rd year in the NBA, he takes a bunch of bums, regardless of how weak the Eastern Conference was, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But the kid was 21, 22. He was 22 years old and took a bunch of bums.
So did Allen Iverson.
So no. Dikembe Mutombo was an all-star.
So was Ilgauskas.
Dikembe Mutombo was like on his 4th year.
So was Ilgauskas.
Huh?
So was Ilgauskas.
Ilgauskas was a defensive player of the year 4 years in a row. All-star. Dude, Dikembe Mutombo was defensive player of the year 4 years in a row. Yeah. Playing on that Sixer squad. He had Larry Hughes. I mean, Allen Iverson had some good players on that team.
LeBron had Larry Hughes.
No, he didn't have the same Larry Hughes. but LeBron jumped into that conversation because, you know, he was, I mean, the dude was, you know, 6'7", 6'8", almost 6'9", 275. We had never seen this before. And then he lived up to the hype. You know, he's taken this Cleveland team that has no stars on it and taken them to the finals. Right? He goes to Miami and he plays with D Wade. He gets 2 championships. You know, then once he wins those championships, then we start talking about greatest of all time with LeBron. I don't think it really started before then, but I think that we really started talking about that when he won those 2 championships in Miami. And then he leaves Miami and comes to Cleveland and wins a championship for Cleveland. With a totally different team. Right? In Cleveland.
All right. So this is what I'll say to that. People who wanted to start talking about LeBron as the greatest of all time after he won titles in Miami, they did exactly what the Heisman voters did. They're just going out the last thing they saw. Because if you look at 2011, right? 2011. How did you go from 2011 to all of a sudden after 2012 or 13 going, oh, he could be the GOAT. He could be greater than Michael Jordan.
Because you're looking at one thing.
GOAT is all about who you're being compared to.
Because you're looking at one thing. You're looking at the championship, right? He didn't win a championship.
It's not even just about championships.
It is because he had one bad series, right, in the finals. 5 games, he had a bad series, you know. But what I'm looking at now, you know, is completely different than it was back in the 80s and 90s. I say he's the greatest of all time because LeBron is good in so many categories.
Well, and I'm glad you said that. And that is my biggest beef with how they want to judge the greatest of all time now. It's all about the millennials. Talking about the millennials. It's all about analytics now. Analytics are driving sports. Analytics is driving the way they play basketball now. Analytics is driving baseball. Analytics is driving the way they're doing football now. All these young gurus, right? It's all about numbers and analytics. And so now they're looking at analytics and go, oh, LeBron's the most efficient player ever. Oh, great. That's not what, when we watch basketball and we say, man, that dude is the greatest, we don't care about efficiency levels. We don't care about efficiency.
It's an eyeball test. You know, it is an eyeball
test. When it's down, when your team is down 2 and the game was on the line, I need you to be the man to go get the game.
Yeah, we saw that.
That's what I need. I need you to be the man. I need you to be the greatest player on the court when it matters. Because that's what greatness is.
Did you watch the playoffs last year when LeBron was in Cleveland?
Absolutely.
Dude, how many game-winning shots did he have?
Absolutely. About time.
In his 15th year.
Stop saying that.
Who's better? Tell me this, man. Who's better? Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
Right now?
Who's quarterback?
Right now?
Yeah. Well, no. Just their whole body of work. Who is a bet? Who would you? Okay.
I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback, but I think you can make an argument that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback, and that's the argument I make for LeBron. I think LeBron is the most talented player we've ever seen. That does not make him the greatest player we've ever seen, because talent is just the potential for greatness. Greatness you still have to come through on. And there are too many times LeBron does not come through with greatness in key situations.
Because we're putting him in a box.
No. We're not putting him in a box. We're comparing him next to the person we already said was the GOAT named Michael Jordan.
We are.
And that's the standard. And so and just like the playoff committee, just like all these teams, all these conferences want to lower the bar so they can get in instead of saying, no, step up. We're saying LeBron, step your game up.
So
stop making excuses.
In scoring, right?
Huh?
Step your game up in scoring.
No. Step your game up and dominate the game when it counts.
And how do you dominate the game?
Yeah, score.
So
because that's the thing. If you want to make the right basketball play all the time, right? And then you kick it out to that guy or whatever, and he doesn't make that shot. Now all of a sudden you didn't win. It's like, oh well. LeBron needs more shooters. LeBron needs better teammates. It's like, no, LeBron needs to go get that basket. LeBron needs to step up and not switch off of KD when he knows KD about to take the last second shot.
He did. Did you see the playoffs last year?
Huh?
Did you watch the playoffs last year? How many games did LeBron take over? I'll answer it. All of them.
The finals?
The playoffs, the Cleveland Cavalier
playoffs
last year. How many games did LeBron take over?
In the finals?
In the playoffs. All of them.
No, he didn't take all of them.
Even in the finals. Even in the finals, bro.
KD's got the ball at the top of the key.
Kevin Love is his number 2 guy.
And LeBron just switches off. I don't want him.
Dude, here's the thing, bro. Okay, so KD, and I know the play you're talking about. The play you're talking about. So KD has the ball at the top of the key, right? LeBron has his eye also on 2 cutting guards, Steph and Clay, who also he has to guard. He's got to guard them 2 other players too. LeBron,
he did. He made a choice. Dude, he made a choice.
We're killing the Cavaliers on those cuts down low.
This is up at the top of the key.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
saying. Came over and set a half-hearted little pick or whatever.
They want to
LeBron just didn't even try to step through, and then just said, "Okay,
that's what I'm saying, man." They pull LeBron right on the weak side, and they use Steph and Clay as 2 Raptors that just make these cuts up in the lane. Up in the lane, going to the 3. One sits on the 3, the other one cuts. Right, the other one sets a pick, the other one cuts to the other 3. KD got the ball at the top of the key, and he can pass it to whoever. Dude, Come on, man. MJ has never had to play a team that has 4 Hall of Famers on
it. Regardless, we talking about we can say whatever we want about history.
Come on, bro.
No. We're talking about in the moment. In the moment, when the time comes to win the game,
you got to make a
comes for talent to become greatness. When that to show itself into greatness.
That's why Golden State is so good, because they play a spread offense where they're playing another team.
Not the case. That was a one-on-one isolation moment. LeBron gave him up.
No, man, that's why Golden State is so good, because they play a team that has 1, maybe 2 stars, and those 1 or 2 stars can't guard Draymond. They can't guard Steph, Clay, and KD at the same time. You can't do it. It's impossible. One of them is going to be open. One of them is going to shoot the 3. One of them is going to get the cut in the basket. One of them is going to be on the pick and roll. I mean, you can't do it, bro. Golden State is the greatest team I've ever seen play. They play beautiful basketball.
And that might be true. But the point is, it was a critical point in the game. KD has the ball. LeBron is on him. Everybody knows KD's about to take this shot.
Really?
Everybody knew KD take this shot.
Before that went out.
They spread it out for KD.
Nope. I ain't going for that, bro. You know how many times, even the play before that, KD brought the ball up to the top of the key, and he dished it off to Steph. Who was guarding Steph in that?
Is KD a distributor? No. When KD get the ball,
so
KD is scoring.
Let me ask you this: is Draymond Green a triple-double machine? He is on Golden State.
Machine, though.
Dude, Draymond Green should not be Draymond Green, but he is on Golden State. Dude, come on. That is
what does that have to do with LeBron's mentality of not saying, no, I got KD. I'm gonna get up in his grill. He's not getting his shot.
Because Steph and Clay was killing him down low. Killing him
down low. This is up at the top of the key.
You know how many times KD brought the ball up and dished it off to one of those cutting players?
They weren't cutting. That's the hope. In this play, what you're describing did not happen.
You know what? When this show is over, we're gonna go to YouTube and I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show. Like, I know what play you're talking about, and I'm gonna show you the 3 or 4 plays before that. You can't guard them, bro. That's why they're Golden State.
Man, all I know is LeBron does not have the right mindset and mentality to be.
You can't guard them. It's Golden State. That's the reason.
At LeBron's talent level, he should have been dominating the NBA.
Let me tell you something. If those plays didn't work, then Golden State wouldn't have 3 championships right now. They do.
Okay, what about all the other years LeBron ain't won?
What are you talking about? He got 3 championships
in 15 years. 15 years. Golden State does not have 12 titles.
Name a team that has a championship over Golden State that wasn't led by LeBron. You can't.
Okay. I didn't know LeBron only been in the league 4 years. Has LeBron only been in the league 4 years?
Golden State. Let's talk about the years before that, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
You got Boston, right? That teamed up to beat LeBron.
They didn't team up to beat LeBron.
Yeah, they did. Come on, dude. Dude was 21. Dude was 21 years old and brought a team to the finals. You know what they said?
That team was built to beat Kobe and the Lakers.
Don't be
talking about LeBron.
They said, you know what? This kid about to blow this conference up.
Man, nobody wants to tell LeBron. That team was put together to beat the Lakers.
We got to team up. We got to beat this boy.
All right, see, that's that LeBron fan stuff, y'all. Yeah, you can't talk facts. Can't talk facts.
I'm talking facts.
Damn.
I'm talking facts.
Look,
LeBron's the only player on earth who won a championship over this Golden State team. Those are facts.
Well, technically, he hasn't beat this Golden State team because this Golden State team has KD.
Don't matter.
So he hasn't.
It don't matter. It don't. Golden State didn't win 4 in a row. Why? LeBron.
Draymond gets suspended.
And you know what?
The NBA made it to where Dre suspended Draymond.
whatever. And you know what else? And Cleveland probably could have had 2 championships if them baby bone players ain't get hurt and LeBron had to carry the team like he always does. Like he's doing it in LA, he did it in Miami, and he'll probably win a championship next year. Come on.
Nah.
LeBron might have put stable centers on
KD and Kawhi going to the Clippers and go win a ring. Boom.
Kawhi ain't winning no ring in the Clippers. Come on. It's the Clippers, bro.
Clippers. Billionaire owner, don't mind spending money, don't mind paying luxury taxes. Clippers.
You know what? I went on Kawhi's Instagram, and he said he loved Toronto. He loved the girls up there. He loved Toronto. He ain't got to say nothing in press conferences. Now you telling me that Kawhi Leonard, who says 0 in press conferences, is going to LA? Is that what we saying, Kevin?
Absolutely, because that's home.
Now all of a sudden, Kawhi Leonard is this huge star that's about to go to LA.
I mean, he's not going to LA for the lights. He's not going to LA. He's not going to LA for the lights. He's going to LA because that's home.
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
That's why he's going to the Clippers and not the Lakers.
He ain't no dog, man. Kawhi ain't no dog. Dude, he
ain't no dog most of the time. LeBron. Hey, you remember that time he blocked Steph's shot and he started looking at Steph like this? He mean-mugging Steph.
Yep.
I'm like, man, that's the first time LeBron to show some dog. Now, too bad it's a 6'3" point guard he's doing it to.
Hey, that ain't his fault. Now it's LeBron's fault that he's 6'3", at 7'6'3".
But I was proud of him, man. I'm like, man, that dude is showing some dog. He was just like, man, don't bring that in my house. I was like, that was talking about LeBron. Be great. Be a man. Like, yeah. Nah. Next thing you know, he go back over there. He's dancing with his teammates.
God, it's hard being the GOAT. It's hard being the GOAT, man.
It is. It's hard living up to Jordan's standard.
What are you going to do?
Don't lower the standard. Raise your game. That's all.
It's a different NBA now, bro.
Players
ain't playing
like 3 for 9 in the fourth quarter.
Players ain't playing with their team for 20 years like they did when Jordan was playing. You know, teams are stacking up now.
Hey, all I know is from the time he went to Miami up until last year, LeBron played with 2 All-Stars.
Two All-Stars. Are we going to talk about how many games they played during the season? We're going to bring that up?
They played all the playoff games. That's all we know.
Bring that up?
Huh?
Who is this again? Running off the court like this? You know what? Look, when LeBron said that, he said, not again. He looked down and said like this. That's all he could do, bro.
Hey, true fact, true stats.
You guy went down.
The moment Jordan played with one other All-Star, he never lost.
No, say Hall of Famer.
No, just an All-Star.
Nope. Say Hall of Famer.
All-Star.
And what was the coach?
Phillip.
Okay. How many championships Phil got?
What they got to do with anything?
How many championships Phil got outside of Chicago?
Do we really want to talk about that?
3?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's got 5.
Oh, 5. 5. You're right. 5.
But how does he get those 5?
Excuse me. Say what? Excuse me. What?
How did he get those 5? Did he go and like take the Clippers or the Kings?
Wait. Hold on. How many head coaches has LeBron had?
How many head coaches has LeBron handpicked?
He ain't handpicking no coaches.
Wait a minute. He controls his own free agency. When he says, hey, I'm going to hit this place, he's choosing to play for that coach. He could have played for Popovich. He could have been in San Antonio. He could have played for Doc Rivers. He could have went to the Clippers. He didn't have to go to the Lakers.
Dude, he could not.
He had to play for Luke Walton.
He could not go to Popovich.
Dude, he could have went and played for the Clippers and played for Doc Rivers.
For what?
I'm just saying, if we want to talk about coaches.
Don't know for what? Doc Rivers ain't won nothing. He won one championship.
Got old buddy fired for his boy Ty Lue. Man, I don't want to hear about coaches, man. This man has picked all his destinations. He has picked his destinations and his coaches. He has been GM, head coach, play caller. He has controlled everything. There are no excuses.
Greatest of all time. Keep going.
No.
30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists.
Hey, he's great against stats, just not wins.
Okay.
You know, he's great at him and Kyrie and Kevin Love beating up little 5'9" Isaiah Thomas. Oh, look, we swept. We got through the Eastern Conference Finals. You played Kyle Korver and Al Horford.
And now he's banging through the West.
He is. Last time I checked, he was a 5 seed.
He's banging through the West. He's supposed to be an 8th seed in the West. This year was a wash.
Whatever, he was going to be. He was going. I had him as a 6 seed. No. Do I need to go to Porch Yakkin and see what you predicted the Lakers to be?
Dude, this year was supposed to be I said it because I'm a LeBron fan.
Everybody knew the Lakers was going to make the playoffs. All right, man. We have beat this up, and we can go on forever and ever. But last thing to close the show out, man. Rush your locks. Run through them real quick. What you got?
Yeah. So I got the Browns over the Broncos. Browns looking good. You know, Baker Mayfield, he's turning it up, and I think that boy is going to be the next star in the NFL. I got the Chiefs over the Chargers. Mahomes is going to get that record, that TD record. So they're going to turn it up against the Chargers. And then I got the Pats versus the Steelers. I got the Pats over the Steelers.
Okay. All right. So you in Atlanta. So, yeah, that's why y'all turn up a lot. So my 3 locks, I got Arizona State over Fresno State. I'm going college. I'm going with the Fighting Herm Edwards in that one.
Okay.
Yep. UAB represent the home team, Birmingham. UAB over Northern Illinois. Bill Clark and them doing their thing over on the South Side.
UAB got a lot on their mind right now.
They got what?
So they got a lot on their mind right now.
Yeah, they do. They do.
That's a whole nother show.
And my final pick is the Giants over the Titans. You know, everybody's be big on the Titans. Derrick Henry's muster game. I don't think the Giants going to let that happen. Jacksonville didn't want to play. Jacksonville had no interest in trying to tackle Derrick Henry.
No.
Yeah. No, and I love the Titans defense, but I'm still not sold on Mariota right now. So
okay.
And if it's gonna be a battle of running backs, I'm taking Saquon Barkley over Derrick Henry. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. So that was my picks, man. Dude, we've been going for 3 weeks, man.
Woo.
Yeah. So
we had a lot of holidays in there too.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. We had some holidays, a little bit of injury, but we're back. So yeah. I'm back in it.
Put you on the PUP.
Yeah.
Yeah, the physically unable to perform list.
But I'm back now. I'm back
now. All right, man. We're glad you're back, man. Hey, everybody, if you haven't, hey, like us, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments. Let us know what you guys like. Like I said, this is a longer show than we normally do. We normally try to keep it an hour, but we've been gone for 3 weeks. I ain't had time to like embarrass this dude. So we just had to like just let it hang out tonight. All right, man. Any last words?
No, man. It was a good show. I'm looking forward to next week.
Yep. Same here. All right, everybody. Be real. See you next time.